The City of Wilmington has teamed up with AT&T to focus on a campaign about the dangers of distracted driving. It's called It Can Wait. A virtual reality simulator was set up in Rodney Square to allow visitors to experience firsthand how dangerous it can be when you take your eyes off the road for a mere second to look at your smartphone. Randy Bell of AT&T and CJ Johnson explains how the campaign got started.
AT&T launched the It Can Wait campaign back in 2010, and originally it was to address texting and driving. But new research shows that 7 out of 10 people engage in other smartphone activities while driving. So recently we've recrafted the campaign a little bit and broadened the focus to include all of those distracted driving smartphone activities behind the wheel.
The simulator, we started traveling with the simulator about 3 years ago. So we take the simulator all around the country. We go to high schools, colleges, military bases. Today we're in Delaware, and our goal is just to spread the message about, no text is worth a life. We're perpetually distracted. We're always looking at our phones, so we need to be constantly reminded about the dangers of texting and driving. Today, a lot of aha moments, a lot of epiphanies, people going, you know what? Is my life worth a 3-second text message? And people, once they're done, they go, you know what, I'm done, I'm not going to do it. They take our pledge, and hopefully they don't. Hopefully they have some personal responsibility and they don't do it in the future.
Well, what he just said about is it worth it? So this is about saving lives, and our message is really very simple. We say no photo, no selfie, no text, no email message is worth risking your life or the life of someone else. And we ask that everybody just keeps their eyes on the road, their hands on the wheel, and not on their phones.
After taking the experience, visitors and council members had strong reactions to the simulator.
And every time I went to text, I went to hit something, the reaction was like, don't text. Going through that experience, I would never text again, driving.
Have you ever had any experience where...
It wasn't an experience where I was texting, but at one time my phone rang while I was driving, and I went to answer it, and I dropped it, like where the gas pedal was, and I went to reach down to get the phone, and when I came up, I hit somebody's car, a parked car.
What was that?
It was absolutely phenomenal because I have actually stopped at a red light, to being honest, and text. And sometimes I'll pull over if it's that important. But this right here, that simulator, just made me realize that it really can wait. It is just not that important. Nothing's worth my life. It's something that all young people should see, and it's something that people who have the bad habit of texting at red lights should see. And even if you're just texting and it's not a red light, the fact that people were responding, in that simulation was responding to a text message on I-95, how dangerous that is. And so we really have to think about what are we doing and what are the consequences of our actions. So that taught me never text and drive.
It just shows you how quickly things can go bad. Yeah, even if you think you're paying attention, just a split second, that's all it takes. When you take your eyes off the road to look at something else, you're inattentive to what's going on around you, and within seconds things are happening, so your reaction time's just not enough to stop. I think that a simulator like this and showing it to the younger generation, not just the younger, but all the way up, everybody's doing it. So in schools primarily, that's where you're going to have to start. You have to get the message to them so that they don't keep continuing that behavior, and then start correcting that behavior at a very young age.
Oh my goodness, it was really, really real, and it was so many close calls in the stimulation, and you could actually feel how close a danger that you were in doing just as simple as responding to a text. And of course you think you can say, oh, OMW, on my way real quickly, which was the message, but you didn't know how much time goes by and what's actually happening because the car is still moving. And I can personally say that there's been times that I have glanced at my phone, and most of the times that I am not necessarily texting, but it's trying to dial a phone number so I can make a phone call while I'm driving. We always trying to do 2 or 3 things at one time. And it's been those scary, almost hit times that really, really scares me, that makes me stop. I have 5 beautiful grandchildren, and I know that whatever that message is, or who's trying to reach me, or who I'm trying to reach, is not as important of me not being here for my grandchildren. This simulation will scare you into not doing it. Because I'm still shaking from just the simulation. That was very, very close, running to the children, and even then at the end it was very very emotional to know that the part where you saw yourself rising, that meant that you were dead and you were on your way to heaven, hopefully, in some people's cases. But I'm really glad that we're doing this and bring the consciousness to people while they're alive to see that what we're doing is dangerous and for us not to text, because it can wait. It can wait.
Inspector Clayton Smith of the Wilmington Police Department talked about the importance of drivers' responsibility on the road.
But anything that can give people a better insight into really how it distracts you and how it interferes with your focus is important. That, any kind of information like that it provides maybe kind of puts the thought in your mind that, hey, this is really bad. Although I think I'm in control, I'm really not, and I'm really distracted. I got to look at my surroundings and be certain of where I'm going and what actually is behind me, beside me, and ahead of me. Yeah, people think they can multitask. They can't. Not when you're behind the wheel. And you're behind the wheel. It's a responsibility. You're behind the wheel of motor vehicles, sometimes traveling at high rates of speed. That's an awesome responsibility. You have responsibility to everybody around you and everybody who's on the roadway.
Especially today, a lot of them are.
Yeah. With the technological, boom throughout the world, throughout the country, they're so used to it, it's like second nature now. But you have to take that moment to think when you're getting into a motor vehicle. You have to focus on, like I said before, focus on the roadway, your safety and the safety of others. That's more important than that text message that can wait.